What's up, guys? Well, back to a review, and we just got the official trailer for Stranger Things Season 4, and I wish within this trailer, it's gonna have some horror vibes, some darker tones, even from its last three seasons. It's a whole horror vibes being fit into the season, and from what we can tell from the season of Stranger Things, Stranger Things Season 4, based on the trailer and how the season is gonna go down, it's gonna have some pretty dark vibes to it, and even though with the characters will be like split apart, and with the season with the people all over the place, and plus within the show there's some cool Easter eggs or things that they may have missed. It could lead into a few future things for Stranger Things, especially for season 4. So in this video, this will be my full breakdown of the Stranger Things season 4 trailer. Go over Easter eggs and things that they might miss in this trailer. So let's get into it. So the trailer opens with like a dialogue from a voice saying that you're broken at everything, your suffering is almost at an end, and then we see the grandfather's clock, which is in the Creel house, which is the hands pointing toward the devil's hour, and now with the Creel house, this house is owned by Victor Creel, who's going to be played by Robert Englund, and which he owns the Creel house, and which we saw in the other teaser back last year in September, and which in the season is going to have some horror vibes, and now what his voice is definitely coming from Victor Creel, as it's just going to be like a dark. And then, as we see for about half a second, we see a demon opening up his eyes, and now when the shot only lasts about half a second, we see a demon opening up his eyes. It could be, must be like a villain that we could see in the season of Stranger Things season 4, but we don't know if this is inside the Creel house, or otherwise plus that shot at the end of the trailer, but I'll get to that in a bit. But it could be like a demon that's probably inside the Creel house, I think, but we're not sure. And then it cuts to Max looking over at Billy's grave, and as we can see, like on the date on that grave, it says July 4th, 1985. And plus with this, the date is probably be the date at the end of season 3 of Stranger Things at the Storecourt Mall when the game was playing the Demogorgon that led to Billy's death, and that's why we're seeing Max looking over at Billy's grave. And then we hear some dialogue from Max saying that like, ever since Billy left, the life has been a total disaster, and I tried to be happy and normal, but it's impossible because ever since in last season, though Billy died, like I think life has been a total disaster in Hawkins. And then as we can see, like in these montage shots, we see more scenes, including for the gang at school, with the Byers and 11 at school, but because like with the Byers family, they moved to California, and that are living in new lives as they will, and 11 are living their new lives at school with everything else, and then we see like Max is staring at a clock. And with the song that plays in this trailer, it's called Separate Ways, which it highlights the important part of Stranger Things season 4, with everyone as like separated with Officer Hopper in Russia, with the kids have the gang back in Hawkins, and with the other gang in like separate places, and it's with the Byers in California, in which they took 11 with her, with the 11 being taken away from Mike, as 11 is probably going back into the Hawkins lab. Then later in the scenes of the trailer, we see the Byers and Mike in California as like a helicopter lands toward their home, and we see the gang in the Creel house as well. And then we hear someone say to 11 that a war is coming, and that the friends are in the eye of the storm, and someone has been trying to relocate them. With they're in the eye of the storm, and he's saying that without 11 and her powers, in which 11 says that they can't win this war, and in fact with like 11 who has lost her powers, but probably in the last season or so, or something like that. And plus with like 11 and with them like not, and plus with someone saying this to 11 that without her, even though like 11 doesn't have her powers, like as you said, like they can't win this war without her. That's about to go down in Hawkins, especially for the threat that's about to come towards them, especially for the gang as well. And but plus maybe probably this is my prediction, like towards probably the end of the season, she might have a way for 11 to get her powers back, even though 11 said that she doesn't have her powers. And then the trailer continues with like a bunch of bats like swarming and flying over the Krill house, and then we see Steve and Nancy, and plus with Steve saying that CEO on the other side, and with Nancy saying on the other side, and we see sort of like some like cloth being like made into a rope, which we see Nancy is going to climb up on, trying to check out something. Maybe it's like a threat, and then we see the whole gang ride on bikes, and then we see Hopper and in a Russia, which he feels like is going to good, and then like some guys put a mask on him, which Hopper must be in a lot of trouble, especially in Russia from his last couple promos. Then we see Hopper in the Russian prison, and then we see him light up at the end a weapon he's probably gonna use to probably defeat this Demogorgon that's like in the prison, and like attacking one another of those guys in the prison. And that was the Demogorgon that is probably the one that I saw back in Stranger Things season 1 with Hopper and Russia, especially in prison. He might have a lot of things that they deal with while he's in Russia. And then we see this guy sort of like floating around with his hands and arms are wide open, and when it's saying like the Dungeons and Dragons, it could be related to like one of the stills that we got like a couple weeks ago. With this guy, it seems like a new character that's going to be in Stranger Things season 4, leading like an advance at the Dungeons and Dragons club, in which we saw other previous like seasons of Stranger Things. It puts the story with like the boys in Stranger Things will play Dungeons and Dragons as well. And then the scenes that I would see in the trailer is like 11, and this is probably like a flashback to Hawkins' lab, and she's all light up, and probably they'll hurt, and she like took down a couple of guys in Hawkins' lab, and I wish this is probably a flashback, and then we see Steve probably in the Upside Down, and we see a bunch of later shots as well, and then we see the thing ever, like plus with this we see Max floating like this is probably on top of Billy's grave, and we see the half the game there as well, and now with the Max flying, which we didn't know about, she's probably going to be possessed by Billy, which we saw earlier in the trailer with the Max looking at Billy's grave, which Max floating is going to give her powers, especially being possessed. And now within the last few scenes in the trailer is with our first look at the Richard Creel played by Robert Uglin, which we see, which is in this Richard Creel, the owner of the Creel house that we've seen in like a bunch of trailers, and what is he's not in like a very good shape, and plus with his eyes covered as well is our first look at Richard Creel. And then the final scene in the trailer is with Max walking through the Upside Down, or in some sort of dimension, and then we see the kind of like a demon handle in the shot, and then with this trailer in the final scene and ends with like someone like a demon, and with this villain, it was revealed by the Duffer Brothers that this villain is the monster from the Dungeons and Dragons game, because when it's a game lore with the monster, it sounds like dark magic, and it's basically revealed one of the episode titles for Stranger Things season 4 called The Vecna's Curse. Or this could be though Billy, even though we see him and it's great because he died in the last season, or if he's alive in some sort, or maybe it's just Billy, or maybe it's like a demon who's like the villain of Stranger Things season 4. And yeah, with this trailer for Stranger Things season 4, I think we're like a heck of like a wild ride, especially for the fact that like Stranger Things season 4 is gonna be split in like two volumes, with a volume 1 coming out on May 27th, and with the volume 2 coming out on July 1st, with Stranger Things season 4 being split in the two parts, and with the season it's not the end, because we have because if like all remember with season 5 it's going to be the last season of Stranger Things. I mean, the show is going to end with the season 5, which was the season 4 is going to be split in the two parts, and then that's why we're going to have of season 4 of May 27th with all the craziness happening, and plus with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Stranger Things season 4 both coming out on the same day, we're going to have a lot of content to look forward to in May. Especially for the fact with the Upside Down, and with the getting all over the place, especially for 11 as well, and with a ward as coming instead of Hawkins, with this thread, it's gonna have the whole game to handle as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed this trailer for Stranger Things season 4, and I can't wait for like season 4 of Stranger Things coming to Netflix on May 27th with the first half of season 4. So that's gonna be it for this video. Let us know in the comments down below, and what are your thoughts on this first trailer for Stranger Things season 4, and are you looking forward to Stranger Things season 4? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the notification bell for future videos. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter for live updates. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.